These talks are taking place against the background of increasing tension between China and its neighbors in the South China Sea, where Vietnam says one of its patrols was rammed by China's Coast Guard near a Chinese oil rig in disputed waters. Beijing has warned against outside interference in the region, and Washington has not taken a position on competing territorial claims. Secretary of State John Kerry says a more active U.S. role in Asia is not meant to contain China.
We welcome the emergence of a peaceful, stable, prosperous China that contributes to the stability and the development of the region and that chooses to play a responsible role in world affairs.
At the opening of this strategic and economic dialogue, Kerry said Washington and Beijing have the ability to find common ground despite any current differences.
That's the foundation on which we need to build decades of prosperity for the future and also build the possibilities of stability and peace at the same time.
Chinese President Xi Jinping says confrontation between the United States and China benefits no one.
China-U.S. confrontation to the two countries and to the world would definitely be a disaster. Under these circumstances, we on both sides should look far into the distance, strengthen and persist on cooperation, and avoid confrontation.
During the past few years, these rotating talks have failed to produce much of substance, but they have helped diffuse hostilities that former U.S. Ambassador to China Stapleton Roy says would divide the region.
That's not the type of world we want. And therefore, it's very important for us to have mechanisms that work in trying to address the types of issues that arise between two countries, such as the United States and China. And I think the strategic and economic dialogue is one of those mechanisms.
American Enterprise Institute analyst Michael Oslin says these SNED talks accomplish nothing.
Relations between Beijing and Washington are worse than ever. Why do we continue the fiction that the SNED is either important or constructive in any way?
Oslin says Washington's naive about Chinese ambition.
This does not mean we make China our number one enemy. It does not mean you create an Asian NATO against China. I think it means that you just act realistically and understand that Beijing has very little interest in upholding any of the norms that we profess are important to us, in working constructively with us or our allies.
Talks in Beijing continue Thursday on bilateral investments and currency valuation. Scott Stearns, VOA News at the State Department.